Well, I gave Evan a hard time introducing me because he asked me, how can I introduce you? And I said, you can't. So I introduced myself. And therefore, I need to start up my laptop because on my desktop is my cat. And my cat is a very lazy cat. So there it is. And my lazy cat is the way I work. Because in my job, I have to transform the, see if it works, no. I have to transform the strategy of cVGZ to another program of changes and projects. And the program of changes and projects are too large. So when you're lazy and you have to manage programs and projects, you can't manage them. So you have to do it not yourself, you have to, let's do it by the people of cVGZ. So this is a film of how we managed to get our cVGZ colleague to transform the programs themselves.
De mensen van zorg zijn goed zo. Gisteren ook al.
This is our QBR, our big room planning. And last time we did it was with 630 people in 2 days. So how did we do that? That's the question I like to answer. And I answer that question by showing some examples of how we did it. First, I'll show you what cVGZ is. cVGZ is a health insurance, and we have about 4 million customers. We have about 10 billion on health costs, and we have about 1,900 colleagues. And that's about cVGZ. About me, I'm a father of 2 sons, and I have a very lazy cat. So when I tried to make my job very easy, I tried to create the knowledge within my colleagues that was therefore in my head. My head was like the board at the end of the QBR. It contained all the actions that had to be done and all the lines, the lines between those actions. And I put it in Word documents, in Excel sheets, and in all kind of stuff. But the board and all my colleagues didn't get it. So I thought of a way to get them to know what was going on and to participate in the transition we were going to make. With this way of working, we performed last year that we created a new cVGZ app for our customers in only 6 months, and we had a 4.8 rating in the app stores. So it's possible to do that. Here's my storyline. As lazy as I am, I don't try to write it in PowerPoint. PowerPoint are just slides, so I can show you how we've done it. I would like to talk something before the QBR, during you've seen the film, so that's done. And after. So, before, where come ideas from? Ideas come from all over our organization. An idea can be put in by someone at a call center, or by an IT specialist, or by the board's members themselves. And the idea is always put in a template, the template you see over there. The idea has a right side of the template and a left side of the template. And at the right side of the template, there's the user story. There is who is involved to get the right solution. But mostly there is what's the value of the idea. What's the customer going to get when the idea is done? That's the right side of the template. The left side is more ordinary stuff like what are the risks, what KPIs should be met, and that so on. After we've put all the ideas together, you get our board. This is just a normal Kanban board, but what we do is the first line is the ID. The second line is what we call inzicht, insight. You go around with your ID, you get together with all your colleagues, getting insight about what the risks are, what KPIs should we met, who's involved, who should be the owner of the ID. So you prepare it on and on and on until you can get it to the QBR and plan it with all your colleagues at once. So that's the idea. After that, you get the refinement. Refinement is that all the teams involved building one solution should get their say about how large is the amount of work that they are expecting. And we use normal T-shirt size, like S, M, L, XL. So that are the sizes you should be performing your refinement. The QBR itself, we call plannen. Plan is when we do the QBR with all our colleagues. We're together now with 640. Next year we try to get to 1,200. So, and then it will be in one complete week. After ID, we get to doing. Some teams are still existing, other teams are formed. We form new teams every quarter of a year. As an ID is good enough, it's good enough to get an own team. And a team can consist of IT, sales, call center agents, finance, risk managers. about the idea, that is how we form our teams. Idea is done. We know how to prepare. Preparation is walking through the lines of the Kanban board. But before we go to the QBR, this is the list of Huub, it's called in our organization. The list of Huub is, are we close enough to plan this on the QBR? Sometimes an idea sticks in the mud and it won't get healthy enough to get it to the QBR. So my job now is to get all the ideas out of the boards and watch and look and ask my colleagues, are we ready to plan it? That's quite an easy job. Well, then, just before the QBR, in the week before the QBR, we try to select the right epics, select the right ideas to become reality. That's done by this sheet. At the top, you see our main goals, NPS, cost reduction, customer satisfaction, call reduction, and all the ideas that go with us to the QBR that are able to be planned, they are scored on the board of our goals. So when we have to select, you know well which one is the main to perform and which one you can do not, because they are not that great a value in it. Selection done. Then we have the QBR. At the QBR, you saw the teams in the first day of the QBR, they planned their own board, and then they go and plan the boards together. This is my head a year ago, 2 years ago. This was happening every month, every week when I should go to the board. They ask me about one line and I should, but there's another line that influenced this one, and no one understood. And today, after 2 days of QBR, everyone knows what's the independencies, what we will perform, which goals we're going to achieve. So I have a lazy, easy job. At the end of day 2, there is the confidence vote. That's crucial. All people around, all people in the room should have their say on, are they confident enough to perform this quarter? Are we getting there? All the ideas that have been planned, are we going to realize them? Don't forget the quarter vote. At the end of day 1, there is the adjustment moment. That's another part that you shouldn't forget. The adjustment moment is the moment where collisions and independencies come together. You should have the board available, you should have the teams available, and then you have to ask the board which one we're going to perform, which one we don't. After that, it's just in day 2, replanning the whole board and done. That's not nice. No. After the QBR. After the QBR, you should perform management. Although it's normal to have extreme amount of Excel sheets to perform the performance management, we do that by walking around. Come on. So when you walk around, you see the performance of every team, and they are contributing to the goals we saw before. And when you are making the changes, everyone is measuring the goals and the performance in the goals, and the board members just walk around every day again to that team, to that team, to that team. We have about 50 teams at this moment, so they have a lot to work. How can they also see what's called the progress of the changes? We do demos. Demos every 3 weeks. Every team has a demo, and they can tell everyone in the room what the progress is they're making. And the demos is every 3 weeks. We have 3 sprints of 3 weeks, and then we have a 4th sprint in which we can do all kind of investigation and small jobs, studying, that kind of thing. So after 3 sprints of 3 weeks, you had 3 demos. So you had 3 times the moment of adjustment during the QBRs, during 1 quarter. So don't forget to join the demos. If management doesn't come to the demos, they have no saying over rescheduling or that kind of stuff. And last, this process of QBRing starts at day 1 of sprint 1. Every time you have a new idea, you start during the quarter, you start again. Don't start at the week before the QBR, because you're too late. You can't reach all your colleagues then. Start with a new idea, fresh ideas, day 1 after the QBR. Well, I had a talk for 40 minutes. I had to switch it down to 20 this morning, and I have 3 more minutes left. So,
what surprised you?